My name is Alexios. It is August 26th, 1071, and I stand in the dusty plains of Manzikert in the heart of Anatolia. The sun beats down mercilessly on my armor, and I can feel the weight of the Byzantine Empire pressing on my shoulders. I am a cataphractos, a heavy cavalryman, sworn to protect Emperor Romanos IV Diogenes and the realm that has stood for 1,000 years. But today, something feels different. The air is thick with tension, and the banners of our vast army flutter weakly in the hot wind. Before I tell you what happens next, tell me in the comments. Do you think empires fall because of weak leaders, or because their time has simply come? Drop your thoughts below. The morning began with confidence. Romanos rode at the front, his purple cloak billowing behind him, his face set with determination. We had marched for weeks to meet the Seljuk Turks, those nomadic invaders who dared to challenge the might of Rome. Our army numbered perhaps 60,000 men, Byzantines, Frankish mercenaries, Pecheneg auxiliaries, and even some Turkic troops who had pledged loyalty to the emperor. I rode alongside my brothers in arms, our horses snorting and stamping, their breath visible in the cool morning air that would soon turn to furnace heat. "Stay close to the standards," my commander barked. "Do not break formation, no matter what." I nodded, gripping my Kantarian lance tighter. Ahead, scouts reported that Sultan Alp Arslan and his forces were nearby, smaller in number but swift as desert winds. We advanced in columns, dust rising in clouds that choked our throats. The land here is harsh, broken by rocky outcrops and sparse vegetation, perfect for ambush, perfect for cavalry that moves like ghosts. I could see the nervousness in the faces of the younger soldiers, fresh recruits who had never faced the Turks in open battle. They had heard the stories, arrows that blotted out the sun, horsemen who struck and vanished before you could even raise your sword. "Keep your shields up," someone shouted. The order rippled through the ranks. Then from the ridge ahead I saw them, thousands of riders, light cavalry armed with composite bows, their banners bearing the crescent and star. They did not charge. They did not form lines. They simply watched us, like wolves studying a herd. Romanos gave the order to advance. We moved forward in disciplined ranks, our heavy cavalry at the center, infantry protecting the flanks. But the Turks did not meet us. Instead, they wheeled their horses and rode away, firing arrows as they retreated. The sky darkened with projectiles. I raised my shield just in time. An arrow glanced off the rim with a sharp crack. Another struck the soldier beside me in the throat. He gurgled, blood frothing from his lips, and toppled from his saddle. Hold the line!" But discipline began to fracture. Some units pursued the fleeing Turks, hungry for glory, breaking formation. I wanted to chase them too, but I remembered my orders. Stay with the emperor. Protect the center. Hours passed like this. The Turks would feint, retreat, and shower us with arrows. We could not catch them. Our horses tired, their flanks heaving with exhaustion. My mouth was dry as sand, my lips cracked and bleeding. The sun climbed higher, a merciless eye watching our suffering. Then I heard it, a horn blast from our rear. Confusion spread like wildfire. "What's happening?" I shouted to a messenger racing past. "The Frankish mercenaries. They're withdrawing." My blood turned cold. Andronikos Doukas, commanding our rear guard, was retreating without orders, abandoning the emperor. Whether treachery or cowardice, the result was the same. Our flank was exposed. The Turks sensed it immediately. Like sharks smelling blood, they turned. No more feints, no more retreats. They charged in a crescent formation, surrounding us on three sides. The sound was deafening. Thousands of hooves thundering across the plain, war cries in a language I did not understand, and the constant whistle of arrows. "Form square. Protect the emperor!" We tried. God knows we tried. But the mercenaries were gone. The auxiliaries were scattering, and suddenly we were alone. I looked into the eyes of my comrades and saw not courage, but terror. We had become an island in a sea of enemies. An arrow struck my shoulder, piercing the gap between my armor plates. White-hot pain exploded through my body. I gasped, nearly dropping my lance. Blood ran warm down my chest, soaking the padding beneath my mail. Another arrow hit my horse's neck. The animal screamed, a sound I will never forget, and collapsed beneath me. I crashed to the ground, the impact knocking the wind from my lungs. Dust filled my mouth and nose. I could barely breathe. Around me, the world had descended into chaos. Men were dying by the hundreds. I saw a Pecheneg warrior cut down by 3 arrows simultaneously. a Byzantine officer was dragged from his horse and hacked to pieces. The screams were unbearable. I forced myself to stand, ignoring the agony in my shoulder. My sword was still in my hand, though I could barely lift it. A Turkish rider bore down on me, his curved blade raised high. I met his strike with my own, the impact jarring my wounded arm. He circled for another pass. I dodged, stumbled, and thrust upward, catching him in the side. He fell with a cry, but there were too many. Always too many. For every one I killed, 10 more appeared. The smell of blood and smoke filled my nostrils. Somewhere in the chaos I heard Romanos shouting orders, trying to rally his men. Our emperor, fighting like a common soldier, refusing to flee even as his empire crumbled around him. Then I saw him fall. A mass of Turkish soldiers overwhelmed his position. His bodyguards died defending him, cut down one by one until none remained. Romanos fought to the last, but they dragged him from his horse. The purple cloak was torn from his shoulders. The Emperor of Rome captured. When that purple fell, something inside me broke. Not just hope, something deeper. The belief that we were invincible, that Rome would stand forever. I realized then that empires do not fall in grand theatrical moments. They fall in dust and blood and confusion, with forgotten soldiers dying in places no one will remember. What do you think went wrong at Manzikert? Was it betrayal, bad tactics, or just bad luck? Let me know your theories in the comments. I want to hear what you think changed the course of history that day. I do not remember much after that. An arrow struck my leg. I fell again, this time unable to rise. The world spun. I lay in the dust, staring up at the cloudless sky, listening to the sounds of slaughter fade into an eerie silence. Darkness crept in from the edges of my vision. I thought of my family, my home, the life I would never return to. I was just one soldier among thousands forgotten before I even died. Later, they would tell the story of Manzikert. They would say it was the beginning of the end for Byzantine Anatolia, the moment the heartland was lost to the Turks. They would blame Romanos, blame Andronikos, blame fate itself. But they would not remember me. They would not remember the thousands like me who bled and died believing we were defending civilization itself. The Battle of Manzikert shattered Byzantine military power. Anatolia, the empire's breadbasket and recruiting ground, fell piece by piece to Turkish settlement. Within decades, nomads became settlers, settlers became rulers, and the cross gave way to the crescent across lands that had been Christian for a millennium. The empire lingered for centuries more, but it never recovered. Some historians call Manzikert the true beginning of the end, the wound that never healed. Others say the empire was already dying, and we just did not know it yet. Perhaps both are true. Perhaps empires are like men. They can survive many injuries. But there is always one wound that proves fatal. I died in the dust of Anatolia, defending an empire that would not survive another 400 years. My bones lie somewhere in those forgotten plains, unmarked and unmourned. But my story is not unique. Every empire that has ever risen has eventually fallen, and every fall is paved with the bodies of forgotten warriors who believed they were fighting for something eternal. Nothing is eternal. Not Rome, not empires, not even the memory of our sacrifice. That is the truth they do not teach you. That history remembers the names of emperors and sultans, but forgets the names of the men who actually bled for them. So tell me, what do you think? Could the Byzantine Empire have survived if Manzikert had gone differently? Or was this empire doomed from the start? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this story powerful, hit that like button and subscribe to Endless Ages, because we're bringing you more epic, forgotten stories from history's greatest moments. More battles, more heroes, more empires rising and falling. You won't want to miss what's coming next.